It looks like I've made some good progress in terms of tack rows over the last week, because when I'm looking at this first set, I'm noticing that I'm able to keep my back much flatter for a bit longer. Here, up to the fifth rep, it kind of rounds a bit, but it doesn't collapse as much as it used to over the last few weeks. And the last few reps are not the prettiest, but still overall, it's a good progress. In here, I was mixing and matching the videos because I did not really want to get all the 3 sets that I did of tack rows in a row, and just to change things up. As I was going later in the dumbbell swings, I felt a bit better, to the point where I wanted to get a bit more of a stretch in my hamstrings, and I wasn't really pulling the brake too much, so I was allowing the leg to stay a bit straighter, and I also used 32 kilos, which is a bit of an improvement over the last time. I felt good in the hamstrings, but I'm being cautiously optimistic because there's always something that can go wrong at any point. And the same thing can be said about the shoulder. I'm trying to stay as pain-free as possible when I'm performing these reps, but there's always a movement in the day-to-day life that kind of triggers the pain, and I always need to be extremely careful when I'm doing these. In terms of daily life occurrences that trigger the pain or make me feel uncomfortable in the shoulder, there are so many, and I'm noticing that it tends to happen more often when my arm is fully stretched out at whatever angle, basically. Up to 60-degree abduction, it doesn't really feel that bad, but even when I'm reaching out or up or scratch the back of my head, I sometimes feel that, and there's always that nagging feeling that every little thing is kind of setting me back. So every step forward that I make, there's always some stepping back involuntarily that I do. This is the second set of tack rows, and it looks pretty good. I wasn't really fatigued at this point. I was taking good time to rest because this session is so short anyways, that I'm doing 3 sets of this, and then I'm doing an extra 2 exercises for a couple of sets each. So I was really satisfied with the fact that even with longer rest times, my session was really 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, and then I was ready to take a shower and go home. So it is great in this sense. 34 kilos also moved well and didn't really give me much pain. I wasn't maybe keeping my legs as straight as the previous set, but getting some extra weight in there and maybe a little bit of fatigue building up, I wanted to stay on the safer side while still pulling some extra weight. And when I'm looking at these, I think this is a very good superset that allows me to get something for the lower body in a more explosive fashion, and then go straight to some upper body stuff while I'm sitting down, and there's extra stability in my back, so I can really focus on getting full range of motion. Even sometimes I'm thinking that a more bodybuilding style approach to the overhead press, where I don't really go all the way down, but I am stopping at parallel or so, could be an avenue that should be explored at some point. And it doesn't really have to be on different sessions, really, now that I think about that. It could just be something like 1 set in one way and another set in another. This is the 3rd set. I was doing, I think, just 5 reps. The last couple were not the best looking ones, but overall the volume and the quality of the reps that I have performed on the tack rows on this day is the best that I've done so far, so I'm really happy about that. And also handstands, they were doing okay. I'm seeing that I wasn't really able to fully extend my shoulders, so there was a bit of an arching of the lower back, and wasn't able to control the glutes as well as I could, but not everything can go perfectly, so I'm happy with what I've done. Ciao.